time to respond? Show of hands. Okay. All right, good number. I'd like to tell you today a few things about what to do if there's a fire, when to try putting it out, and how to use a fire extinguisher. You never know, this could save your life. There are 3 things required for a fire. Who knows what they are? Yeah.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Heat.
And fuel.
And fuel, perfect. And together they create a chemical reaction. And the chemical reaction is oxidation, but we see it as fire. Slow oxidation, by the way, is like a rusty nail is an example of slow oxidation, but rapid oxidation is fire. So how do you put it out? How do you put out a fire?
Take away one of those things.
Perfect, thank you, exactly. So that's what a fire extinguisher does, or what water would do. Water would take away the heat. Fire extinguisher, sometimes the mechanism is to smother so that the oxygen is removed from the environment at the source. So if you encounter a fire, there are 3 A's for you to do. Letter A stands for 3 different things. One of them is activate, or if you want to think of it as alert. So you would activate the fire alarm system, which, okay, it must be out in the hallway because I was noticing that there's a fire extinguisher out in the hallway. You would activate, or if there's no actual fire alarm system, you're not at a school or you're not in a public building where you can get to one, you would let people know. Fire, fire, right? You're going to tell them and let people know so that they can get to safety. The next thing is assist. There may be people who cannot get out for some reason. Maybe they're elderly or they're not feeling well or something, and so you want to help them get out of the environment. So you would assist people who need help. Lastly, if you're comfortable, you attempt to put out the fire. But you don't attempt in every case, right? If there's a fire that's engulfed this whole wall, I'm not qualified to deal with that. The situation where you would have a fire you could attempt to put out is if it's fairly small and contained. Say it's a waste paper basket that's on fire, or there's a pan on the stove. Something like that that's contained in one small area, and you can actually, well, you're larger than it, obviously. You also want to make sure that you're safe from any toxic smoke. If some of what's burning is plastic, it may be releasing toxic smoke into the air. And so you don't want to hang around and try to put out that fire if you're going to be overcome. Don't be a hero. Don't put out or attempt to put out a fire that you're not qualified for or that may put you in danger. Similarly, suppose that's my only exit and there's a fire across there, across the exit. If I didn't have this door, I have no way out. So you'll probably notice that the code requires that fire extinguishers are near exits. So in this case, it's out in the hallway, probably so that it has equal access to all the different rooms that come off of this hallway. But if you have to put yourself in danger and cut off your exit route in order to try to put out that fire, forget it. Just get out. What else? So, and then overall, just listen to your instincts. Do you feel like this is okay? If you're overwhelmed, just don't even try it. Just get out. If you are, I'm sorry, I'm still rushing around. If you are now comfortable enough and you have the equipment to put out the fire, and you're going to use a fire extinguisher, this one's a very small one for home use. It costs about $20 or $25. I have no stock in a fire extinguisher company or anything. I just wanted to point out, though, that you might want to have 1 or 2 at home. Near exits, like I said, in the kitchen, close to where you have a lot of danger of fire. You also, if you have, this one's already been used, so the pin's not super strong there, but if you have a 2-story home, you want 1 for each floor. And the 2nd story one goes near the stairs for the same reason that you can get out if you need to. What was I going to say? Okay, so there's a fire. You feel comfortable, it's manageable, you have a fire extinguisher at your disposal, and they also need to be maintained, but that's a whole other topic, one which I'm not super qualified to give. But the chemical inside is pressurized, so ideally the needle is showing in the green area says it's good to go. It's got enough pressure, but not too much. and it's also been maintained. You'll notice if you ever looked at fire extinguishers in this hallway, for instance, there's a tag that says when it's been maintained. It should be current. But when the time comes, I want you to pass. And that is pull the pin. You're going to aim. This one just has a short nozzle. Some have a hose that you can aim. And then I won't actually squeeze because it still is making a little bit of a mess, but it's like a chalky substance comes out, and it shoots about 6 or 8 feet. So you aim at the base of the fire. If this is my fire, I'm not going to aim at the top of it. I want to aim at the source of it. And then I will squeeze and sweep. And so the sweeping motion covers more of the area. And as I'm putting it out, I will also walk around the fire and make sure I've got all of it covered. Lastly, don't just walk away, you know. Make sure that you stick around and pay attention to whether it will reignite. It could. So don't just consider it all done. And then remember that the only time that you're attempting is you've already alerted the fire department or the people in the home. Somebody else can call the fire department while you get your extinguisher. So safety is really important. Don't put yourself in jeopardy trying to put out a fire. Again, don't be a hero. But I hope you never need to fight a fire, but it sounds like some of you already have. But I do hope you've learned something today that you can put to use in that situation. Mr. Toastmaster?
All right.